The Last of Us, created by Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin. After a global pandemic destroys civilization, a hardened survivor takes charge of a 14-year-old girl who may be humanity's last hope. Now I'm a diehard fan of the game. I bought the first game in 2013 for the PS3 and I bought every single version since. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't too impressed by the trailers. I doubted Ramsey and I honestly didn't know what to make of Pedro Pascal as Joel. Now I feel like I've been humbled a bit and I was dead wrong for doubting them. While Ramsey may not look much like Ellie from the game, she embodied the character's emotions, her spirit, and even how she delivered Ellie's mannerisms was fucking on point. And I'm not gonna lie, Pedro Pascal as Joel was one of the best casting choices. I was legitimately worried about the Texan accent, but man, he is Joel. Joel in the game was much more reserved and a bit colder than he was portrayed in the series. Pedro Pascal really heightened Joel's emotional range and he made me admire him just after the first episode. Then 20 years later, after the worst tragedy that can happen to any father, he becomes an empty vessel, a broken man. And yet again, his life is changed when he begins this inevitable journey with Ellie, who is apparently the most important person in the world. Now, my main concern with the series was always going to be the development and the chemistry of Joel and Ellie. That is the essential part of the story. While the series did cover the entire first game, it was only 9 episodes, and at times, I'm not going to lie, it did feel a tad rushed. But I think it's safe to say, the series stuck the landing and even improved upon a few things. The main complaints that I'm hearing is that the series is too much of a copy-paste of the game, and there's not enough action. If people really did have a problem with being too faithful to the source material, it would have been a complete betrayal to us fans and the franchise if they took these characters and made a completely brand new story. Watching this show made me feel like I was reading a manga or a comic book and then watching it being adapted into a movie or an anime. And I personally love things being adapted into live action. As far as the action goes, I think they made a smart move by taking out the majority of the enemy encounters from the game. If not, the series would have added up to 15 to 20 episodes and Joel's body count would have stacked up to the roof with hundreds of people uninfected. Now, this may be some small spoilers for the show. Just in case you haven't seen it, you may want to tune out. One of my favorite changes in the series is the way the infection started from a contaminated food supply. Especially the infected having this new way of communication through the roots of the mycelium on the floor is absolute genius. I wish they put that in the game. There are also additional background stories of characters in this universe that you never get to see in the game. Even though some of them were a bit unnecessary, I did feel satisfied that they were included. It was a beautiful perspective to see this world open up to just more than Joel and Ellie. It also makes me really worried that the show can turn into just another Walking Dead. No offense if you like The Walking Dead. I also want to talk about the aesthetic of the series. Craig Mazin definitely had his signature in some moments, coming off his amazing docuseries, Chernobyl. The choice of having a handheld style to the series definitely made me think of shows like Breaking Bad. The production design for the show was off the fucking charts. Some scenes looked identical to the game. And the success of the show paved the way for video game adaptations to be finally taken seriously. Today, video games truly are movies that you can play. I was genuinely surprised how much attention and admiration this show has gotten. Each week, each episode breaking HBO records. You probably have no idea how satisfying it is for a fan who's been harassing people for 10 years to play the game. I would always pitch to everyone that this is the most cinematic experience that you will ever play. And now we live in a world where you can just simply kick back and watch the show. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want more content like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be seeing you soon.